Good morning, everyone. My name is Colleen Hernandez from CGI Business Solutions, and today we are going to discuss the Scootaround open enrollment benefits that are to begin on February 1st, 2019. Your plan is going to run through January 31st, 2020. Whatever elections you make right now are going to remain in place throughout the entire year, and the only way to make a change is if you have a qualifying event. If everybody can please look at the benefits at a glance that was distributed.
Yes.
We're going to be going through this packet.
Okay.
So as I mentioned, benefits begin February 1st, run through January 31st. The middle of the page is a gray box that discusses some of those special circumstances that will allow you to change your benefit. If you get married, divorced, have a baby, your husband loses their job and therefore loses coverage, those are some of the instances that you are able to adjust your coverage. You are not able to adjust your plan, so whatever plan you choose will remain in effect the entire year. It's just if they're coming on, coming off, etc.
Okay.
We have some exciting news this year. We will be moving to Blue Cross Blue Shield for our medical coverage. Yay. And not only are we moving to Blue Cross Blue Shield, how we're also going to see a decrease in the payroll deductions on the base plan.
Yay.
So anybody that's enrolled on the base plan, it's actually like you're getting a raise now. I am happy to also let you know that the principal benefits, the rates stayed exactly the same. The rates and benefits exactly the same, no changes.
Principal is our dental and
vision, accident, and life provider.
Those are all staying the same. Okay.
All the same benefits, same rates.
Okay. Oh, okay. Okay.
On the bottom of the first page, there is information on how you can locate a participating provider. Blue Cross Blue Shield, if you reside within the state of Florida, you're going to follow the instructions on the top. If you reside outside the state of Florida or you're looking for a doctor outside the state of Florida, you're going to look at the bottom section in order to locate a participating provider.
Okay.
To the right of that is going to be information on how you can locate a participating dentist.
Okay.
If everybody can flip the page, we're going to get into the nitty-gritty of the medical benefits on page 2. This year, you're going to have 6 different medical plans to choose from offered to you from Blue Cross Blue Shield. I'm not going to talk about every single copay because you guys can read it just the same as I can, but I am going to take a couple minutes and point out some things that are definitely worth mentioning. The first plan, the 5302 plan, it is a, all of the plans are PPO plans, by the way, in-network, out-of-network coverage. You don't need to pick a doctor. You do not need a referral. Largest national network that Blue Cross Blue Shield offers. The 5302 plan is a copay plan. So if you go to the doctors, you're going to have a copay, for example, $30 on this plan. That means that's the only thing you're going to be responsible for. Copays for a lot of the commonly used services, including the primary care doctor, a specialist, a convenient care center, which are now the little centers that are opening in some of the pharmacies and some of the supermarkets. You have a copay for emergency room and urgent care. Then if you need other services, such as hospital services, both inpatient and outpatient, if you need an x-ray or if you need an advanced imaging test, such as a CAT scan or an MRI, that's when your deductible is going to kick in. How this works is any of the services that require deductible and coinsurance, you first pay for an individual up to the $5,000 deductible. Once you reach that $5,000 deductible, you then pay 30% of the balance until you reach the maximum out of pocket, which on this plan is $6,350 for an individual. On this plan and the other copay plans, you as an individual will never pay more than the $6,350 out-of-pocket maximum. That's going to include the deductible, the coinsurance, all copays for the entire calendar year. If you have a family, so let's say it's myself, my husband, and my 2 kids covered on the plan. Myself, I'm sick this year, I will never pay more than $6,350. Collectively, as a family, we're never going to pay more than the $10,000 deductible, then 30% coinsurance to the out-of-pocket maximum of $12,700. So I have an individual protection and then a whole family protection on this plan as well.
I want to interject here, Colleen. The deductible is $10,000. The maximum out of pocket is $12,700. So the maximum out of pocket is $2,700 more than the deductible. Correct?
That is correct. But now, you can meet your out-of-pocket maximum without paying all $10,000 of your deductible, because copays go towards the out-of-pocket maximum also. So you could have a lot of copays and then incur a deductible expense and maybe only pay $9,500 of your deductible, and you've satisfied your out-of-pocket maximum, because that stop loss is a catch-all. That out-of-pocket maximum is coinsurance, copays, and the deductible.
Is copays applicable to deductibles, or is deductibles not include copays?
Deductible does not include copays. Deductible is only deductible. It's only the out-of-pocket maximum that does include the copays.
Okay.
As I mentioned earlier, this plan, as all of the plans, does have out-of-network benefits. However, you are going to get the most bang for your buck if you stay within the network. Blue Cross Blue Shield is a large national network, so I don't foresee anyone having any issues, but you do have the option of going out of network should you so choose. Another thing that makes this plan different than the other plans is that this plan has a generic only drug card attached to it. So what this means is that you will have to get a generic medication. If you take a brand name drug, this may not be the plan for you. And as I said, if you elect this plan, you're going to see a reduction in your payroll deduction, and will only be paying $6.43 a check. Woohoo!
Yeah.
Thank you, Scootaround, right?
Yeah.
Next time we're gonna the next time we're gonna talk about is the 5903 plan. This is another copay plan, so it works the same as the first plan that we talked about. You have copays for all of the commonly utilized services, doctors, specialists, the convenient care, emergency room, urgent care center. Once you get into the X-ray, advanced imaging, and hospital, you have the deductible and coinsurance. Your deductible on this plan is $5,500. Then you pay 30% until you get to the out-of-pocket maximum of $6,850. Family deductible is $11,000, then 30%, so you get to the out-of-pocket maximum of $13,700. So there is a slight difference on your worst-case scenario on this plan. The biggest difference, though, is the drug card. So this plan does allow for full drug coverage. So you have access to both generic and brand name medications. This plan would be $40.37 a check for the employee. The next plan that we're going to look at is the 5901. It is also a copay plan. A couple things about this plan that's different. While you do have a copay for the doctor, the specialist, and the convenient care center, you will also have a copay for the x-rays and advanced imaging and hospital services. However, you will be responsible for deductible and coinsurance if you need to go to the emergency room or urgent care. The deductible on this plan works slightly different. You have a $2,000 per person deductible. So if I have one person, it's $2,000. If I have 4 people, it's going to be $8,000 because it's $2,000 per person for the deductible. Once you satisfy that per person deductible, then you pay 50% up until the out-of-pocket maximum, $6,350 for an individual, not to exceed $12,700 for the entire family. This plan also, full drug card. Next plan is going to be the...
Colleen, hold on a minute. I have a question about the inpatient hospital services. You've got one option 2. What is that?
That is how the hospital is contracted. So it depends upon the hospital that you visit, what your copay will be. Within the state of Florida, you're generally going to see option 1 hospitals. Outside the state of Florida, you're going to be looking more towards option 2 hospitals. That was a very great, good question, though. But it does depend on how the contract between that hospital and Blue Cross Blue Shield reads, though.
Okay.
So Colleen, the $3,000, the option 2, is normally a hospital that is outside of Florida then? That you
Correct,
don't normally see a hospital in Florida that the contract is $2,000. Most likely it's out of state that it would be $3,000.
Correct. There are a few hospitals within the state of Florida that they do have that $3,000 inpatient copay, though.
And the same applies for the outpatient surgery, correct?
And the same applies for outpatient surgery. So if you were to go outpatient outside the state of Florida, more likely you'll be paying $400. Inside the state of Florida, it's more likely that you'll pay $300, though it is not a guarantee. You could go to an option 1 hospital.
The 400 max is what it looks like. I do have a question about co-insurance. What does co-insurance mean? I see 30, 50. What does that mean?
Right. So after you satisfy your deductible, then you pay a percentage of the remaining bill. So on this plan, because we're just talking about the 5901, after you pay your $2,000 deductible, then you pay 50%. You pay 50% while Blue Cross is paying the other 50% until you reach that out-of-pocket maximum.
Okay. Okay.
So with your deductible, you pay 100% of whatever the contracted rate is for anything that says deductible.
Right.
After you satisfy that deductible, that's when that cost share kicks in.
Okay, I see that now.
To the out-of-pocket. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Any other questions so far?
No, I'm good.
Okay,
How do we know about what tier a certain medication is in?
there is a formulary on the Blue Cross Blue Shield website that will give you the tier that your medication is on. So I can show you that as soon as we're done with the medical section. I will pull it up, okay?
Okay, great, thank you.
Next plan is a $3,900. You're going to have copays again for doctors, specialists, convenient care center. You're going to have deductible and co-insurance for the emergency room, urgent care, and x-rays. If you need advanced imaging, inpatient hospitalization, outpatient hospitalization, it is a straight copay. Deductible on this plan is $1,500 per person. Then you pay 50% up until the out-of-pocket maximum of $6,350, $12,700 for the whole family. Full drug card on this plan as well. The next plan works completely differently than the other plans that we have discussed already. The next plan is going to be a high deductible health plan, which is an HSA eligible plan. So what does this mean? This means that on this plan, there are no copays anywhere until you satisfy your deductible. So if you go to the doctor, you go to the specialist, emergency room, the hospital, whatever the case may be, you are on the hook for 100% up until the deductible, which means you will pay the first $1,350 for an individual. After that, you pay 20%, not to exceed $5,000 maximum out of pocket. on the family is a $2,700 deductible, then 20%, not to exceed $5,000. So I want to stop here for one quick second. Why would somebody want to buy this plan? There are two reasons. Number one, if you look, your out-of-pocket maximum across the board on this entire bottom line, if you can see, the $5,000 out-of-pocket maximum is the least out of your pocket. So that means that you in a given calendar year won't pay more than that $5,000. That is the least amount on any of the plans. When you shift over to the family out-of-pocket maximum, you will see drastic savings. You again will not pay more than $5,000 out of your pocket as opposed to $12,700, $13,700 on some of the other plans. But do keep in mind that you are on the hook for everything until you satisfy your deductible, then you pay 20% no matter what the service is. Option 2 hospitals are 25% after deductible for hospital services though. Another benefit about electing a plan like this is that it is eligible to put money into an HSA banking account, which means that you get special tax treatment. You're able to take money from your paycheck, deposit into the special banking account to use for qualified medical expenses. The money that you put in the account is going to be tax-free, so long as you use it for the qualified medical expenses. The maximum you're allowed to put in is $3,500 for an individual, $7,000 for a family. However, if you're over the age of 55, they also let you contribute an additional $1,000 to this account. And you use that money for not only medical expenses, but you're able to use it for dental and vision expenses as well. Those are considered qualified medical expenses.
You mentioned this health spending account on this one. Are the other first 4 plans not eligible for HSA?
They are not. This is a different special plan.
Okay.
And the reason that it's the other ones are not eligible is because they're not qualified. An HSA type of account like this one means that you can't have any copays until you satisfy the deductible.
Okay.
So there's no first dollar coverage. So if we scoot down to the prescription drugs, you'll notice that you have to satisfy your deductible here before you have any copays. So you still have to pay 100% for your medication until you pay the $1,350 for an individual or $2,700 for a family. Then those copays kick in.
Okay.
Now, another thing that I did want to point out about this plan that is different than the other plans. On the other plan, if you were one person within a family unit, you still were only responsible for up to that individual dollar amount, whether it be deductible or out-of-pocket maximum. On this plan, it is not the case. So if I were to take this plan, the 316061, and I am by myself, just me enrolled on my plan, I pay $1,350, then 20% until $5,000. However, if I have anybody else on the plan with me, a spouse, a child, or both of them, then my whole family must meet $2,700 before the 20% kicks in up until the $5,000 out-of-pocket maximum. And that can be any combination. It could be one person in your family that fully satisfies that $2,700 deductible, or a combination of people within your family unit. Any questions? Because I know this is confusing.
Nope, so far so good. James, do you have any questions? Nope, so far so good.
Okay, excellent. The last plan that we're going to look at is another plan that is similar to the other plans that we talked about, being that it is a copay plan. You have the copays for doctors, specialists, the community care center, emergency room, urgent care. Then you have deductible and co-insurance for the x-rays, advanced imaging, inpatient, outpatient services. Deductible is $2,500 for an individual, then 30% co-insurance up until the out-of-pocket maximum of $6,350. With the families, you have the maximum of $7,500 worth of deductible incurred in that year, then 30% co-insurance up until $12,700 out of pocket. This plan also has a full drug card, so you can get all medications needed. A couple things that I wanted to talk about in general about all of the plans now. Number one, preventative services, completely free. Those are going to be your annual physical, your well child, including immunizations. You have your well woman. You have colonoscopies for individuals over the age of 50, mammograms for women over 35, completely free. You walk in, you walk out, you pay nothing.
So does that mean that where it says primary office visit, $30 copay, I don't pay that if I do an annual physical?
That is correct. You will not be responsible for that for a wellness physical. It's a once a year annual benefit. So your annual physical would be once a year, and you would not be responsible for the copay. That is correct.
And when we go to have our mammograms, it's a flat $35?
No, when you have your mammogram, as long as it is considered a wellness visit, so you're not having a mammogram for diagnostic reasons,
Gotcha.
then it would be free. You
Okay.
pay nothing.
I got over 35. That's why I have it. Over 35, and then over 50 for the free colonoscopy.
That is correct. Over the age of 50 for a free colonoscopy. One thing I do want to say about the colonoscopy, since we're talking about it, is if during the colonoscopy a polyp in your colon is found and they remove it, which they will remove it without waking you up, it will become a diagnostic procedure and not a preventative type of exam, because now it's, removing of the polyp is considered surgery, and you will therefore be subject to whatever your responsibility is for outpatient surgery. I did want to just clarify that.
Okay.
Another thing I want to mention are these convenient care clinics popping up all over the place. You pay substantially less at one of these centers than you would if you were to go to an urgent care center. You, however, pay significantly less for an urgent care center than you would if you were to go to an emergency room. So it would be in your best interest to go to the most affordable place based upon your current situation. What does that mean? You have pink eye, you can go to a convenient care center, not a problem. You're able to meet with the nurse practitioner. They'll write you a prescription for eye drops, call it over to the pharmacy. You'll be on your way, and you pay $30, $50, $35, $25, or whatever the contracted rate is, depending upon the plan you pick, which is going to be the cheapest for that service outside of seeing your primary care doctor. They are open evenings and weekends, so great place to go. However, if you need more care and treatment, then you may want to go to an urgent care center. They're able to help you if you think you broke a bone. They can give you an x-ray, send you on crutches, write you a referral to go see an orthopedic, and you walk out paying whatever your urgent care responsibility is.
Well,
In the
so basically what you're saying is if let's just say if I have a back pain, it's convenient for me to go to convenient care than an urgent care?
Well, it depends. Back pain, like, oh, I fell and now my back is hurting, where you may need an x-ray, I would suggest going to an urgent care center, because the convenient care center is not going to really be able to do anything for you.
Okay.
They're going to say, okay, your back hurts, I'm so sorry, everything looks fine, you're healthy, you can, follow up with an orthopedic. Whereas an urgent care center, they're going to do the exact same thing, but they may also give you an x-ray depending upon what happened that, caused your back to hurt.
If you need stitches, can you go to a convenient care?
Urgent care center for stitches.
Okay, so convenient care is basically a strep throat.
Yeah, strep throat is a great example. A cold symptoms lasting for a couple of days.
The
those
car,
minor things.
Gotcha,
the doctor.
gotcha. Okay, thank you.
And then the emergency room is going to be number one, when everything else is closed, or number two, the more life-threatening emergency. Hey, I broke my leg and my bone is sticking out. Obviously, they're not going to just be able to patch you up and send you home. So it's going to be for the emergency room. You're also, if you pass out, please don't go to urgent care, because they're going to send you to the emergency room anyway, and now you're going to be responsible for two different member responsibilities. You'll be responsible for the urgent care and the emergency room. So you as a consumer need to know where you should go.
Typically, can urgent care do blood work and those type of things?
Mhm.
Typically?
Yeah, but you have to pay for that. I think.
I'm not sure, actually. I'm thinking about my experience there, and I do not recall ever getting my blood taken at an urgent care center.
Okay, okay. Sorry.
I do not believe so. Speaking of blood work, though, the in-network lab on Blue Cross Blue Shield is going to be Quest Diagnostics. And as long as you remain in the network for covered blood work, it will be free, no member responsibility.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Now, if we talk a little bit more about prescriptions, there are a couple money-saving tips that I wanted to discuss with you. Hang on one second, though, because I'm going to pull up the prescription drug formulary very quickly. Okay. Here is the Blue Cross Blue Shield Florida Blue website. If you want to find your prescription drug formulary to see where your medication is on the list and how it would be covered, you're going to click on members. You have insurance through your employer. Scroll down to where it says prescription drugs, find out more. We want to look at the medication guide, and we're not on individuals. We're on employer large group plans, and we are going to be generic choices. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you kind of faded off there.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. So
No problem.
you're going to scroll down to employer large group plans. The very first plan is the generic choices medication guide. The other 5 plans, so I'm going to minimize this for a second. So your first plan being the 5302, it's going to be the generic choices. The remaining 5 plans are going to use the open formulary. And this will pull up the medication guide and tell you where your medication is. You can do Control F and we can type in a medication. Let's look up Cymbalta, for example. There we go. So Cymbalta, which is considered to be called yada 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 over here, Duloxetine HCl, is a tier 1 generic medication, which means if I look at my plan, it would be a $10 copay if I were on the 5903 plan.
Can you check another one just for me?
Do you want to do this after the call? Because this is going to be recorded and sent out to everybody to listen. And everybody will know your medicine then. So I don't know if you want to divulge that.
I absolutely.
It's just insulin. Is
Yeah.
insulin covered?
Well, there's different types of it.
Yeah, I would like
Yep,
to check.
there's different types of insulin, yes, and it's going to be covered. Insulin is going to be covered as a prescription, and then the testing supplies is going to be covered as durable medical equipment, which more than likely is going to be deductible and co-insurance.
I do have a drug I want you to check, and I don't care who knows. Are you ready? It's called
I am ready.
Xarelto. Xarelto.
So if you take 10, 15, or 20, it's going to be a tier 2 medication. You also have these these little dots over here, which means that it is subject to quantity limits. So more than likely, you're going to have a 30-day supply of only 30 pills. So that's a tier 2, which would be a $50 copay on any of the 5903, 5901, 3900, 5301.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay.
It would
Linda would-
not be covered on the first plan though, so you may not want to choose that plan.
Linda would like to check.
It's called Humulin, HUMLIN, RU 500 Quick Pen.
Can you spell that again for me, please?
HUMLIN, and then it's RU 500 Quick Pen.
I'm sorry, did you say Quick Pen?
Yes.
Yeah, it's Quick Pen.
Okay, that's not going to be covered as a prescription then. It should be, I believe, as durable medical equipment. I'm not finding it on the
That's insulin.
medical guide over here. So I will circle back. And who was this asking for it? I'm sorry.
Linda. Linda.
Linda.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to circle back to you about how and where that would be covered, okay?
Okay.
But if we move back to the benefits themselves, there are a couple other things that can help you save some money on medications. Walmart, Winn-Dixie offer very cheap generic medications, $4 for a 30-day supply, $10 for a 90-day supply. You don't even need to have insurance in order to take advantage of these programs. Another program is going to be GoodRx, where you're able to type in the name of the medication. It'll tell you pharmacies within your area that have the medication and the cost for that drug. Also, if there are any coupons, you're able to download the coupon and use it. So this is a great thing for any brand name medications that you might be taking under the 5302 plan where you would not have any coverage, or if you decide to elect that high deductible health plan where you have deductible responsibility and drugs can be a little more costly, you may want to take a few moments to look up that medication on GoodRx before you just run to the pharmacy and fill it. Also, I know down here in Florida, Publix offers free antibiotics as well as some other routine maintenance medications, lisinopril, metformin, etc. As I mentioned earlier, the one plan, the 316061, you're able to open that HSA account, and here are the limits for you again as a reminder. Moving on to the fourth page, it talks a little bit about your current principal dental plan. You do have two different PPO options. The first plan, you have a $1,000 annual maximum. The second plan, you have a $1,500 annual maximum. On these plans, if you need any services outside of your preventative service, which in-network is covered 100%, out-of-network you're responsible for 20%. Anything else, you're going to be responsible for the coinsurance after you satisfy your deductible. Another thing that makes these two plans differently is where some of the services fall. You'll notice on the regular PPO plan, you have fillings that are going to be considered basic at 20% after deductible in network, whereas on the buy-up, you have fillings, the scaling and root planting, and root canals falling under major at 20% after the deductible. Another thing to keep in mind is, though, while you're able to go out of the network, you will be responsible for more. So you're going to be responsible for a slightly higher cost share, 50% on the PPO plan or 40 or 60% on the buy-up PPO.
20%, 20 to 50%. In-network is 20 to 50, right?
In-network is going to be 20 or 50 for any basic or major services on the buy-up plan, and the other PPO as well. Actually, it's just what falls there is different.
I do have a question for you. If you have dental insurance through another plan, do these work together or do they not?
You can have two insurances, yes, and they will work together.
Okay.
I just don't know if the premium that you would be paying would justify the end for the two plans. I would just, want to look into that if I were you, just to double check.
Okay.
Any other questions about the PPO?
I have a question. It says at the bottom, employee only cost. What if I
Yeah.
want to add my husband?
If you want your husband, the rates are going to be on the application that we'll look at in just a few minutes as soon as we're done reviewing the rest of the benefits.
Okay, great.
But that does bring me to a point that I wanted to make. All of these benefits are standalone. So you can choose to cover just yourself on the medical, and then you can choose yourself and your husband on the dental, and then just yourself on the vision, or yourself and a child on a vision. So they are standalone. So you don't have to elect the same coverage for all of the plans.
I have a quick question about the deductible. It has 50 and 150 underneath of it. Does that mean 50 individual and 150 for family?
That is correct, yes. So you have a $50 individual deductible with that stop loss, that max cap at being $150.
Okay. And maximum amount of benefit for the whole year is $1,000 or $1,500. Okay.
Per person, yes.
Per person.
Yes. Okay. Vision plan over here on page 5, going to be, again, through Principal. They utilize the VSP network. In and out of network benefits are available to you. You're going to get your most bang for your buck in network, just like you would on any of the other plans. And you're able to get an eye exam every year, new lenses for your glasses or new contact lenses every year, but new frames are going to be every other year. Any questions about the vision benefit?
Nope, we're good.
Okay, excellent. Next thing that I wanted to talk about is the accident. In the event that you are injured in an accident that did not occur while you were at work, so let's say I was playing soccer with my kids and I fall and I trip and I break a bone, I can submit a claim and Principal is going to pay me depending upon the type of injury that I had incurred during that accident. In addition to accident payments, they will pay you $50 once a year for any wellness visit. So if you go to the doctors for a wellness visit on your Blue Cross Blue Shield, it's free. You take that explanation of benefits that shows that you went, you submit it to Principal, and Principal is going to give you $50 as a reward for taking care of yourself. In addition to wellness and any accident benefits, there is a death benefit. If you were to die due to an accident, your beneficiary will receive $2,500 if you, as the employee, were to pass away. If it were a spouse or a child, you would receive either $12,500 or $6,250. Any questions about the accident plan?
What is closed reduction? I'm looking at lines of up to 7,500 dislocation.
Right,
Open,
if you have to, if you need surgery.
okay, and then to the side of it says up to $3,700 for closed reduction. No,
correct. So if you have, if it's dislocated and they're just able to like pop it back into place.
Gotcha. Okay.
Non-surgical.
Gotcha. And this is above and beyond our deductible. So if this is above and beyond our deductible.
No, this is completely separate. So you pay whatever you need to pay on your medical plan, and then after you, after you get your bill and you paid your bill, you're going to get something from Blue Cross saying, hey, on February 3rd, you had such and such done. You take that explanation of benefits, you give it to Principal, and then they're going to give you money back.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay.
Okay. The last benefit that we're going to discuss is the voluntary life and accidental death and dismemberment. You as an employee have the option of purchasing life insurance ranging anywhere from $10,000 to $300,000. If it is your first time being eligible for the benefit, your guarantee issue is $100,000. That means that you can purchase $100,000 worth of coverage, no questions asked. If, though, you were previously eligible, let's say last year you were eligible for this benefit, but you decided you did not want it, and now you want to elect, you may do so. However, regardless of the dollar amount that you elect, you will need to submit the health statement, the evidence of insurability form. Or if you purchased previously $50,000 and now you want to bump it, you're going to have to submit the evidence of insurability form, which looks like this. It's just going to be some basic information here, and then you're going to answer some health questions and sign and submit. And this way, Guardian can review and either approve your amounts or decline your amount. If you are increasing the life insurance and your request to increase the insurance is denied, you do not lose all your benefit. You will still keep whatever you had previously. You just won't get the additional amount of benefit. If you buy life insurance for yourself, you can purchase anywhere from $5,000 to $100,000 worth of life insurance. The spouse guarantee issue is $25,000. One thing to keep in mind is that you cannot buy insurance for your spouse without buying insurance for yourself. Second thing is that you can't buy more insurance for your spouse than you have. So the most amount that you're able to buy for your spouse is the amount that you have on yourself. And then you can also purchase dependent life insurance. That's going to be either a $5,000 or a $10,000 benefit. Again, it cannot exceed the amount that you purchase for yourself. You have a rate table. Yep.
The people who had coverage currently on United Healthcare and don't remember, how can they find out what they had before? Is there a way?
Are you talking about the medical plan you had? Because that's the only thing you have through United Healthcare right now.
We don't. Well, do we have the life insurance? Voluntary
Principal currently.
Oh,
Yeah, we do.
We have the accidental.
Right. So if you want to know what dollar amount you have with principal,
Yeah.
yes, you should have that information on the invoice, and I can send over a spreadsheet. Hold on, what's the dollar amount? To Kim today so that she can have it handy if anybody is questioning the dollar amount that they have.
Okay.
And then you have the chart over here at the bottom of the page. You have both website and phone numbers for your medical provider, Florida Blue Cross Blue Shield. You have the principal provider to ask any kind of generic questions, and then you have the number to submit any claims for principal. Then you have both the contact information for myself, Colleen Hernandez, and Debbie Rito. Now, in order to secure your elections, I'm going to need an enrollment form back from all of the employees. Here's a copy of the form. You're going to fill in your generic information over here, your family information over here, and then comes your medical section. You're going to either check that you're going to elect coverage, you're going to decline the coverage, nobody's going to change because you don't have this currently, and then the plan that you want. All of these are a per paycheck deduction. If you are waiving coverage, I will need you to sign under the refusal of medical benefits and choose the reason that you are waiving coverage, please. And you're going to do the same for the dental. Choose which plan you want. The backside, you have vision, the accident. If you want to contribute to the HSA, you're going to put your bi-weekly deduction amount right here. You get to fill it in, whatever you want. Your life insurance, you'll get to choose your dollar amount of your benefit in here, right under Section H. And then Section I, you get to update your beneficiaries. Every year at open enrollment, it is a good time to stop and think about it because things happen during the year and you may forget once you get divorced to change your beneficiary from your spouse to maybe your new boyfriends or your new husband. So I don't know about you, but my current husband would definitely be upset if I left my life insurance to my ex-husband.
Yeah,
Yeah. Nice time to go on ahead and review just this time of year. And then you're going to sign and we're going to have it returned. All of the forms are going to be due back to Kim by noon on Tuesday. And the only thing that I need back is this two-sided application. Everything else for you to keep for your records, and you're going to submit the completed application to Kim no later than Tuesday at noon, please. Does anybody have any questions about anything at all?
Yeah, when are you gonna be able to find out about my insulin? The Humulin, and I also do the Vidorian.
Is this Linda?
Yes, Linda.
So Linda, I'm going to, when we get off the phone, I'm going to call Blue Cross Blue Shield and I will get back with you as to where that is covered.
Okay.
We would like to jump back on a form. You have one that says principal across the top, and it says collective group underwriting and late enrollees application. Is this for, this is for the life insurance, correct? That
Right, this is for if you're choosing to increase your life insurance amount, if you chose more than the guarantee issue,
okay,
or if you waived and then are coming on brand new now. So this is only if you're making a change to the life insurance.
Gotcha. Okay.
That you need this form.
Okay.
But every single person, regardless if you're taking the plan, not taking the plan, will need the multi-carrier application.
This one, got it.
Which is
Right. So
this form again.
Over 100,000.
Okay, so, but she's also saying that we're making changes. So let's say if someone wanted to add their spouse to the insurance now, and they didn't have them, can we do that?
Here.
You can do that.
There.
On this form?
No, not on that form.
On the multi.
On this form. Right
on the
here.
multi-carrier enrollment. If you're adding them to the life insurance, though, you're also going to need to answer the questions on the health statement. And the purpose of this is that principal doesn't want you waiving the coverage while everybody's young and healthy, and then all of a sudden, God forbid, somebody gets a diagnosis that is, you know, not looking very good, then come on the plan. You know, that's the reason that they require the application.
This form that you have on the screen right now.
Yeah.
Okay. This is used to change beneficiaries?
Nope. This is only if you're increasing the volume. To change beneficiaries, it's going to be on the multi-carrier enrollment application that everybody's sending. It's on section I.
What if you had 25,000 last year and you want to increase it to 50,000 this year? Do you need
So
to
you're
go
going
up?
to submit this regular multi-carrier application and the health statement because you're making a change to the volume of your life insurance.
Okay.
This is the first time.
If it's the first time that we've had health insurance or the health life insurance, do we need to fill out this form?
Depends. Are you a brand new, newly eligible employee, or you waived previously and now want to come on?
You waived previously.
Then you need to fill out this form, yes.
Okay.
Just call principal.
Okay. This one. Yes. Okay, we're good.
I gotta go.
Any other questions?
Gotta go to work now.
No, I don't think so. I think we're good.
She can just email me.
Okay, excellent. So again, as a reminder, Tuesday by noon to have the forms back to Kim.
Okay.
And if anybody has any questions on the bottom of the benefits at a glance, you have my contact information. I'm Colleen Hernandez. We have Debbie Rito in my office as well. We are both happy to help however we can.
Okay.
Awesome.
All right.
Thank you.
I think we're
Thank
good.
you so
Thank
much.
you,
Thank
Kelly.
you.
Okay. Thank
Thank
you,
you, Colleen.
everyone. My pleasure.
Colleen,
Take
you're
care, guys.
gonna be gone on Thursday, right?
I am gone on Thursday the 17th, yes,
And
but Debbie
gonna
will be
take
here.
over
Mhm.
If we have any questions,
Yes, but all questions essentially should be answered before then because the employee's paperwork is due back Tuesday. So I imagine that any questions that come up will come up between now and Tuesday. And then after Tuesday, you guys will just be waiting till you get your approval letter and ID cards.
When will we get this recording so we can share it with others?
When I get off of the phone, it has to do a couple things to compress, and then I upload it to a website, and then you guys will get the link. So my guess would be it's 10:30 Eastern Standard Time now. My guess would be noon.
Okay.